Welcome to Wall Street Sizing Up. We're glad you're here. You know we're the only channel that helps you profit off the insider knowledge of the hedge fund bros. Today we're talking about the stimulus package. What? The stimulus package. Yeah, the second one. Or what's really not going on. Number 2, Buffett investing in biotech. And 3, you ever heard of tax loss harvesting? Let me clue you in. It ain't your revenue, it's what you put in your pocket. With that said, Jake hit the theme. Let's go to work at the casino. Let's get it started. Today we're going to talk about the stimulus first, right? Not the first, but the second stimulus that has yet to happen. And not to bury the lead here, guys, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen. We're about in the same place we were 4 weeks ago. Biden has won the presidency. The Dems have that. The Dems have the House by a narrow majority, and the Republicans have the Senate by a narrow majority. But it looks like they're going to win that, right? So the deal is stalemate. Stalemate's great for stocks. That's why stocks after the election popped, right? But what it's bad for, stimulus, and that's what we're talking today. And let me just say this, right? I've seen the COVID lines. We hear it every day, all day on the news. COVID, COVID, COVID. I get that it's bad. But have you seen the bread lines? Have you seen the Feeding America lines? They're 5x longer than the testing lines. Makes me want to just, Neither Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch, nor House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have budged from their positions on the pandemic relief despite the mounting toll the outbreak is taking on the country. I think we can all agree on that. Democrats have pushed for a package that costs at least $2.2 trillion. $2.2 trillion versus the Republicans want a roughly $500 billion bill. McConnell has insisted in recent days that the pace of the economic recovery means Congress need only to pass a targeted, narrow plan to get the country through the next few months. All right, whatever side you're on. Here's the deal. So we've got a vaccine. Vaccine will be widely available within 90 to 120 days. We've covered that on the channel. The Democrats want $2.2 billion, but they want the exact same thing in the first stimulus package. That would be $600 a week for the unemployed. I agree with that. They also want the $1,200 stimulus check for all Americans. I can agree with that, right? But I can see what Mitch McConnell's saying. Say, look, guys, we only got 3-4 months here, right? So here's the deal, guys. Washington, you got $500 million or $500 billion on the table. Take the deal. You can always do a second deal. Say the vaccine never comes to fruition in the next 4, 5, 6 months. You can always go back to the well. You're the federal government. With that said, let's talk about Buffett. So Buffett's 13F came out yesterday. That's his quarterly filing that all hedge funds and institutional funds have to make, right? And so that's what people are going through as of last night and as of today. He's got about 50 stocks. His largest stock is Apple, AAPL. But here's the thing, it's not just his largest stock. It's 50% of his investment fund. 50%, right at 48%, right? That's a $110 billion position. But what is driving markets crazy today is that he took 4 positions in 4 large biotech firms. The first one's on the screen. It's AbbVie or ABBV. The trading price is about $100 right now. Its price target is between 110 and 120. Here's the thing, $1.8 billion stake. Good to be Buffett, $1.8 billion stake. He did the same with MRK or Merck, right? It's been trading sideways all year long. Currently it's traded by $80. Price target's $95. Again, another $1.8 billion stake.
We have the meat.
BMY, you know him as Bristol Myers Squibb. Same exact thing, $1.8 billion stake. Trading at 64. Price target's at 76. Now here's the thing, the Pfizer.
I'll pleasure myself to your photos.
Pfizer, he only took a $136 million stake. It's trading at 36. Price target is at 42. All those price targets are 1 year. You know Buffett's not a 1 year guy. He's a 5 to 10 year guy. That's what he looks at, right? He's 90 years old.
I look good. I look good.
the man is still looking long term. That's what he's learned. That is what has driven his wealth in the past 40 years. So let's get back to, so that's what's driving biotech today. In fact, I would tell you most of my biotech stocks that I have in my trading account are up 3%, if not more. One's up 15%. He also did some interesting things about the 13F that I saw. Snowflake. He participated in the IPO of Snowflake. I think a lot of us knew that, SNOW, but he took a $1.5 billion stake in Snowflake. He also, which I love this one, TMUS, new position for him. TMUS, if you know what that is, that's T-Mobile. We've talked about them on the channel. One of the best 5G stocks that you can buy. Why? T-Mobile's management is phenomenal on the acquisition side and on the pricing side. He took a $275 million stake in them. I'm glad to see that because T-Mobile is a good long-term stock, and especially for 5G as well. Then the one that's kind of baffling is he actually has, he had a position, he's reduced it a little bit, but he still holds GOLD, gold, Barrick Gold, and that just gives him exposure to gold. They mine it and they sell it. But here's the thing, Buffett's never been a gold bug. He's never been a gold fan. It doesn't produce dividends, right? And trades in a range from about 1,500 or 1,300 to up to 2,000 now, right? Not a huge range. So here's my question to Buffett. If you're going to put a $337 million stake in GOLD, why aren't you getting some exposure to Bitcoin, man?
Sounds like a
Hoopla! Hoopla!
Bitcoin. By the way, congratulations, 17,000. That is great to all you Bitcoiners out there, to all you crypto guys. I'm with you 100%. I think it runs to 20K this cycle. I think that we'll have a pullback. Hopefully it's not a massive one. The market cap has increased. I looked at what most coins have been bought at now, and it's about 6,700. So that's good to see. But Mr. Buffett, why not Bitcoin? You can carry it around in your pocket, right? I get it. It's a store of value. But if you get into Bitcoin, it will 2x that same day. Literally 2x that same day. It'll moon, it'll Lambo, it'll do it all. So with that said, that's what Buffett's doing. Now, let's talk about tax harvesting. You haven't heard about this, but this is something that not only will, if you save money, you're actually making money. Let's talk about that. All right. First of all, what is wash trading? But before that, if you have capital gains profits this year, you really need to go see your CPA before December, right? That's tax loss harvesting. It's a compelling form of tax planning that allows people to offset their tax expenses by selling assets at a loss before the end of the calendar year.
Won't it be grand to get rid of it all?
But there's nuances to it, right? You really need to consult your CPA, right? I would do it as soon as possible, especially probably before December. But with that said, let me kind of explain more about what it is. In the U.S., the IRS has a wash sale rules for securities. Okay, those are stocks, right? It does not apply to Bitcoin or Ethereum as they are not securities, right? Now, it may apply to other cryptos, so you need to check there and be safe. But here it is. In plain English, when you tax loss harvest stocks, you have to wait 30 days to repurchase anything you sold in order to claim the loss on your taxes. But this does not apply to any cryptocurrencies that aren't securities such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So what they're saying is basically this, is that if you had stocks and they were at 10,000 and they went down to 3,000, right? And you sold, right? Let's say that was back in March or April of this year, which is highly possible. You can take the $7,000 loss, right? Then if it's a stock, you have to wait 30 days to buy that stock back to get right back in the same position that you were in. But you took the $7,000 loss. You can book that with the IRS and book that on your taxes. 30 days later, you buy that stock back. That stock then, let's say it goes all the way back, up to $15,000. 7,000, right? Those stocks do, right? You'd never sold them, so you got a $7,000 loss that you can apply to your ordinary income. But if you were buying and selling all the way up and you had these profits, you can offset the profits with that tax harvested loss. That is what it is. In Bitcoin, in Ethereum, it's different. In crypto, it's different. You can do the exact same thing. Say you bought the Bitcoin at 10,000, it went to 3,000. You can sell it. You can book that $7,000 loss again, right? And then you can turn around the same day, buy it back, so your portfolio looks exactly the same, right? Just like the stock would, but on the same day versus waiting the 30 days, you buy it back at 3,000. It then goes back up to what it is now, 17,000, and you just booked $7,000 in losses. Now, if you are on the hold side, right, the $7,000 in losses, you can write off on your ordinary income as well, but you can only write off on the ordinary income $3,000 a year, but you can carry it out, right? So let's say it was a $7,000 loss. So the first year you can write off $3,000. The next year is $3,000, and the third year would be $1,000. That's your ordinary income. But if you had capital gain profits, it would go directly against that. So let's say that you had 10,000 in gains. You have that 7,000 loss. Now you're only paying capital gains on the $3,000 that's left, right? That's as easy as a way that I can put it. I also want to run this past you, but please talk to your CPA about it. She or he will know all about it. It's done by hedge funds, investment funds, savvy investors in the market. They just know what's going on. And crypto has software. In fact, this article here, cointracker.io, they have software that if you're in crypto, you can literally buy the software. It's fairly cheap, and it'll tell you what you can tax harvest loss in crypto. They may have that in stocks too. They probably do, but I would, again, talk to your CPA. The last strategy here too is really cool.
How to be a strategic motherfucker
when it comes to Bitcoin. So say you bought the Bitcoin at 1,000 and it went to 10,000. Right? So there's a $9,000 gain. Well, you can give that to charity, right? And you can book the $10,000 donation on your taxes that you gave to a qualified charity. You can book that, right? Whereas a stock or even Bitcoin, you would sell it, right? And put it back into USD. You would have to pay taxes on the $9,000 gain in crypto. This way, you're just donating the Bitcoin. You get the tax advantage of the donation to the charity, and you don't have to pay any capital gains tax. Again, talk to your CPA. With that said, I hope this last part didn't bore you. I know my eyes gloss over when we talk about taxes, but again, if you're saving, you're actually earning. That said, guys, thanks again. Really appreciate you watching the channel. Watcher 6. Go hard in the paint. Cheers, and we'll see you next time. Well, good day, good evening, and whatever time it may be. We hope you enjoyed that video as much as we enjoyed making it. Please hit the like or the subscribe or leave a comment, because we love that feedback. And you know what we say. At the casino, you got to watch your 6 and you go hard in the paint, guys. Cheers. We'll see you next time.